Hello, my name is Marshall Ross, and this is my Promineo Tech front-end week 2 assignment around CSS and GitHub. And what we did this week is we took our HTML files from last week and we added some CSS to them. The way I did this, I started by just cloning all of those files, the HTMLs, into the week 2 folder, and then I created our CSS file. And the goal here was to start with the more broad element styling, as far as you'll see here, like HTML font family, Times New Roman for everything, title. So giving each title its own defining elements as far as margin, um, setting the display to flex. So things like that are going to apply to all of the pages. And then you'll see I did a few things to my H1. We gave it some font, we gave it a text shadow, a background color, and then we wanted to center it, set the size, change the font for that in particular, and then a few things here around margins and border. Now, you'll notice so far everything is just broad modifiers to the elements. Here we're starting to get into element class, and I'll show you what I did there is we took the image and gave it a unique element class here, and that's going to be on all of the images. So element class. We have an element class here, or image, well, image element class. And then the way that that looks so far. So here's our header, it's centered. We have our image. You have the box shadow that I added to the image as well as the background, as we will see here. And then that's on all of them. So same thing going through, we changed the H3s to have their own styling throughout. And then on the unique elements that are only on certain pages, I did do this in such a way that they would have their own way of being applied. So on the week 2, let's say the index page, you've got our table, which I gave the element ID, the element ID of table. And the styling on that is that we've got our, oops, for this one, we gave it a bold font, we collapsed the border, we set the height went to 100, and then I have the table header and table data, which I've modified to be 8 pixels, center aligned with a bottom border of 3 pixels, solid black, and then the table rows, every even row, we gave it a kind of like a mint color so that it will stick out on the screen and be easier to read. So that's going to look like such. And then on the I gave a element ID to the directory, or I named it directory, and that one is going to look like this that I kind of put in the corner. I wanted to make it a scroll bar, but there's not enough for it to scroll, so we set the position here to fixed so that it would not scroll. And then disclaimer, I did need some additional assistance from Michael to do the rest of this, but we took the contact page and we styled the form. We set some element IDs on this page to be able to, so form adjustment and form class. And what this did was to be able to center it to the middle of the page and then to give the form an adjusted display margin. That's for the radio at the bottom. And then for we justified it to center is at the display to flex so that we could achieve this and have it all spaced out and centered. And then I did on the about page, I set the unordered list. We gave it some specific rules, which I put in its own element class. So this class for the unordered list, we set the font, we gave it a background color, we center aligned it, and then I have a color here for the text. And on that one, it appears as such. And that is it. That is week 2. That is our CSS being applied to the HTML files.